Don't get me wrong, guys, high level is awesome, but there is one problem that every single high level agency runs into, and that's getting all of those nuts and bolts, those foundational marketing things like newsletters and subscriptions, unsubscribes. A lot of those things have to be built out manually and aren't just something out of the box. So if you're a small to mid-sized agency who's looking to get their CRM set up, or if you're a more seasoned agency that needs a solid foundation to get things started on the right foot, you guys are going to want to check out this review for the Essential Business Marketing System. It's by Vit Muller, and I know you guys are going to like it. As with all of our unbiased reviews, they're based on a 100-point checklist of things that we audit in our snapshots. It's publicly available. You can click onto any of our snapshots and see the scoring, the pros and cons, and an in-depth breakdown of every part of the user experience, the course, the technical scores, documentation, and it's all clickable to be able to go through and see where we came up with our scores and why do we say it does what it says it does, which is powerful so that you know we're not just making it up. So with that in mind, let's get back to the review. The course is actually delivered through a ClickUp file, which is a little weird at first, but you're really going to appreciate the amount of detail and love that went into making this. Every single thing you could possibly think of wanting, from setup and training, documents, asset management, it's all there in a very organized system. It's kept up to date with a version history. Guys, when it comes to documentation, this is as sexy as it comes. One of my favorite features is it has a list of things to test before going live. Having a setup checklist is good. Having steps to test to make sure you did the checklist correct, that's even better. The only nitpicky thing that I could possibly think of is maybe having a couple extra video steps as opposed to just text and images, and maybe also having a white label version or a simpler one that I could hand off to a client. But other than that, guys, this documentation is not gonna let you down. Now, looking at the technical side of things, this snapshot is really well made. A lot of the workflows have a lot of good logic to them. They're well constructed, and it's very apparent that Vit has actually ran some sort of an agency or a business through high level, because they're the sort of unsexy or not really super cool workflows that get a lot of attention, but are the sort of things that you're going to use day to day. The snapshot user experience is very high. The folders are well organized. There's a consistent naming system. I really like all of the workflows being labeled as much as you would like. You don't have to open up absolutely everything to understand what the snapshot does. So lots of marks on that point. I think there could have been maybe a little bit more work done on maybe using the custom values a little bit better or adding a little bit more message templates. I find you have to actually go directly in the workflows to make your edits, which is fine. Just I generally like to kind of keep those out so your users don't have to jump into workflows as often. Because the snapshot focuses on the nuts and bolts, the essential parts of your marketing, you're really not going to get a lot of content, graphics, and copy, which is totally fine because it's meant to be a platform for you to put in your marketing campaigns or one of its other snapshots if you so choose. Where there is copy and images, it's all really solid stuff, so there's nothing embarrassing that could go out in front of a client that looks unprofessional. And finally, let's talk about the overall value of the whole snapshot. Now, value to me in a snapshot is three things. It's one, understanding who you're actually building this snapshot for. Number two is how well have you defined the specific problem that you're trying to solve? And number three, how well do you focus on that problem and how effective are you at actually solving it? The Essential Business Marketing System is very clear on who it's for. It's for people who are setting up their high-level agency or their account and needs all of the nuts and bolts to be taken care of and thought through. If that's what you need, then this snapshot delivers it. It doesn't mess around with fancy campaigns. It doesn't have a ton of funnels in it and all kinds of other tools and lead gen and all this. It is exactly what it says it is and nothing more, which is really refreshing, because the biggest problem that can happen with snapshots is when you try and do too many things, because eventually one of the things that you put into your snapshot doesn't work with how your user is going to use your snapshot or how they run their business. It causes problems, more workarounds. The only area that I'm really critical of is for snapshots like these that are meant to be kind of a foundational setup, is that a lot of these snapshots don't use a tag triggering system. So if you want to build on top of it, it's always nice to, instead of having to manually find the workflow that you want to connect together, that you can just add a tag. So when a opt-in comes in, just tag that they are now a subscriber, and the essential system will manage all of that. Now, this is more my personal beliefs for how snapshots should be made, and I think every snapshot that I review is probably going to have this same criticism, so get used to hearing it. But it is an opportunity for me to stand on my soapbox and promote good snapshot design. So is the essential business marketing system right for you? Well, if you're a small to mid-sized agency, I can definitely recommend this for you. It is a high-quality snapshot. It has somebody who keeps it up to date, that does release versions. It's well documented. It's really difficult to go wrong with it. Is it perfect? No, there are bugs. You will find them, and you will also work around them because they are very minor and easy to fix. So I hope you guys got lots of value from this, and you can get the links to the snapshot in the description, and we'll see you on the next review.